myopia is now known as the youngest lifestyle disorder. Myopia has been a problem since ages, but it has been more and more on the rise, and especially during the COVID times when there were lockdowns, children were locked down, they were not exposed to sunlight on the outdoors, and in addition they were having schooling done online, and smartphones was the basis of all the learning for these children. This made them accessible to these smartphone activities, which is also continuing. So unfortunately we saw there was a COVID epidemic. In addition, there was also a myopia epidemic which has come up.
Increased screen time, because during the COVID time the children were exposed to more of gadgets like the mobile phone, and all the classes were online with a lot of computer and iPad usage.
Myopia management is an overall management of a person having myopia, which includes myopia control, which specifically addresses the issue of how we can check progression of myopia.
Myopia, or the power prescription which keeps changing or increasing, is called progressive myopia. Few decades back this used to be rare, and we used to find occasionally 1 or 2 children having this progression. But now the progressive myopia is very common in children, and the numbers are fast progressing.
Myopic parents generally have myopic kids. There is a 7 times risk in kids who are having myopic parents. Secondly, our life history also affects the myopia progression. Most of the premature babies can develop into myopia. Lifestyle, nowadays we all are on digital gadgets. So our lifestyle has changed and it can lead to myopia progression further. Our environmental has also changed, environmental modifications required, because our eyes are meant for distance fixation, for 6 meters and infinity. But nowadays we are using our eyes more on the digital gadgets at the distance of 30-40 centimeters.
Age of the child, parental history, birth history, lifestyle changes, and the environmental factors. So age, that this 6 to 16 is very crucial, where you can see the rapid change, and the parental history.
The risk factors for myopia most commonly are genetic, because we all know now that myopia is inherited. If one of the parent is myope, the odds ratio is 2, and if both the parents are myope, the odds ratio is 5. If there is a history of prematurity, the risk of myopia increases. If there are lifestyle issues like watching lot of iPhone, lot of iPad, or if there are issues of near work, the chances of myopia increases.
Children who have weak eyesight or myopia have various symptoms, like they'll be rubbing the eyes, sitting closer to the television, they will hold the books closer when they are reading, and they might be watering or squeezing, squinting. These kind of symptoms which the parents should be aware of and should immediately take notice of.
The symptoms of myopia would typically be reduced vision or dimness of vision. The kid would actually come back telling parents that he is not able to copy from the board properly, and he would be going close to the television to watch it, and when he is trying to see things clearly, he is trying to squint his eyes or trying to squeeze his eyes. Some of the patients may complain of headache also.
The child is usually coming closer to the TV to see it clearer. He may also complain of eye strain. He may usually also have a tendency of squinting the eyes, like squeezing the lids in order to see better. So if you find this is there, or whenever you ask a child that can he see the signboards at a far distance, or sometimes the school teachers will find out that a child who has been asked to sit on a back seat is not able to see the blackboard, and then he is referred for myopia.
As an optometrist or as an ophthalmologist, as a pediatric ophthalmologist, whenever a kid walks into our clinic, we have to do cycloplegic refraction. We have to give them clinically proven, scientifically proven, evidence-based glasses to them. We have to prescribe full correction to them so that the progression does not occur. If at all there is a progression, we should measure axial length, take keratometry, take relevant data, and follow them up. We have to tell the patient that you have to come back for the follow-up to see whether myopia is progressing or not.
So the parents who are myopic need to remember that they need to bring their children for an eye checkup
maybe by preschool or at least at the school age entry. Then we do eye examination, a binocular vision assessment, and followed by retina evaluation, and after that we do a counseling session with the parents.
It is a very high risk of glaucoma, cataract, retinal diseases which will manifest as one ages.
There are certain conditions in the posterior segment like the myopic maculopathy, which is a very seriously disturbing visual condition. Retinal detachment is another condition which is also going to be worsened with more of myopia. Then the common conditions like cataract and glaucoma are also increased by myopia, and progression of myopia makes it worse. We have seen that every 1 diopter of myopia increase can rise in these problems to almost 40% in maculopathy, about 20-30% retinal detachments, and similarly in cataract and glaucoma about a 20% rise is seen with every 1 diopter of myopia progression.
Prescribing undercorrection, prescribing overcorrection doesn't work. If you prescribe undercorrection, the image which is forming on the retina may not be clear, and this may actually lead to progression of glasses rather than stopping the progression of glasses. So undercorrection, overcorrections, no. Typically we have to give an optimum correction which is needed to the child.
So we have had myopia control solutions which are atropine drops, contact lenses and the spectacle lenses. There are many more options which are coming up in the market, but as a responsible optometrist I only believe where I have evidence and research, where I can be honest to my recommendations.
One of the major problems with low concentration atropine is the compliance, the consistency with which the parents are able to put the drops. So that is one of the major issues with low concentration atropine. Some other problems are that you have to use them for over a period of 2 years. The safety and efficacy, the pupillary diameter may increase with atropine, and there may be complaints of near vision problem with low concentration atropine eye drops.
No to digital gadgets, outdoor exposure minimum to 2.5 to 3 hours in a day, with proper diet, posture, sleep and light.
Lifestyle adaptation is the first thing that we start talking, because this is the minimum what they can do. Most of the children who progress very rapidly are certainly the ones who are typically hooked on to near digital devices and have maintained themselves to be indoors. So the first thing, reduce the near activities, control the digital screen activities and take the children outdoors as much as possible. They have to be engaged in sports activities, which I encourage them, something where they have to be outdoors. Even opening the curtains out and letting daylight be more exposed is important for these children. They don't have to be studying in the dark, and most of the time we just make the parents understand that engage your child into some sport activities so that it anyway relaxes, and of course it's a fun activity also.
The myopia treatments have to be based or customized for each family. It cannot be a one size fits all. So the myopia treatments are given with the parental myopia, the sibling myopia, the risk analysis, the behavior of the child, the amount of time spent on gadgets, the time spent outdoors, how many times they have changed glasses previously.
The follow-up in myopia management, depending upon the case and the strategy that we have adopted, is very important. I write that down and make sure that the child follows up. It can be a 2-weekly, 3-monthly or even a 6-monthly follow-up. These are frequent follow-ups which are important so that we ensure that the myopia management strategy which is done is effective and the progression is controlled. So we have had myopia control solutions which are atropine drops, contact lenses and the spectacle lenses. There are many more options which are coming up in the market, but as a responsible optometrist I only believe where I have evidence and research, where I can be honest to my recommendations.
Myopia control must be given as an option to every child, who has progressive myopia. So it is not only about the solution. There we have to include correction, control and precautions.